At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, May 1st. Can you believe we are almost halfway through the year? It's May 1st, May Day. My birthday month. Later on this month. Yeah, late month. But nonetheless, hey, happy May Day, everyone, for coming in from Lisa Stevens. Thank you so much for chiming in this morning. Do want to remind everyone real quickly here before we get into the forecast that I do have a free Weather NorCal app. You know, more and more people are discovering Weather NorCal, so you got to get that constant reminder out there that once you discover it, you could discover it on Facebook, you could discover it on YouTube, wherever you may be. But just to let you know, there are so many different ways in which you can get your weather information from Weather NorCal. And really a great place to start is the Weather NorCal app, because everything I offer here on Weather NorCal, you can get from the free Weather NorCal app. So download it for free from the Google Play Store or from your iPhone on the App Store, and just search for Weather NorCal. By the way, there's also a 24-hour streaming channel. This is great if you own a business that has a waiting room. Put this on instead of cable, and you've got yourself a free source for people to enjoy. And the thing is, it's weather. It's 24-hour weather and a little bit of special programming in there as well. So all of your customers can see what's going on with the weather. All right. Of course, you can get that on YouTube, Fire TV, and also on Roku. So if you have a smart TV, but maybe not a Roku or a Fire TV, and a lot of TVs these days, if you buy one, most of them, if not all of them now, are smart TVs, meaning you have a YouTube option on there, a YouTube app. So you just go to the YouTube app and you search for Weather NorCal, boom, you're watching the 24-hour streaming channel. So be sure to check that out. All right, let's get you to your forecast here. And there you can see, of course, we do have some of those clouds coming in from the north and west, but it's going to remain dry and really remain mainly sunny out there as well. There is a frost advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this morning for about another hour. Those temperatures quite cold in many of the higher elevations, and there you can see it. Weaverville, 33 degrees for Hayfork, although not as cold out towards the inland areas of Del Norte and Humboldt County, at least for Hoopa and Willow Creek, right around 40 there, give or take. Winds have picked up already in the valley this morning, and that's why the temperatures are pretty mild. Look at Redding, 56 degrees, Chico about 50, and of course in the mountains where the winds aren't as strong, you've got those temperatures in the 20s and 30s. In fact, speaking of the wind, there is a wind advisory until 5 o'clock today, and that is going to be looking at winds sustained from the north-northwest about 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts between 25 and maybe upwards of 40 miles per hour. There are the winds out there right now. They are strongest for the north and west side of the valley. It doesn't seem to be quite as strong in Chico right now, but there you can see the gusts as we take you through the afternoon today. Actually, the winds will subside a little bit. They'll weaken, but still a little over 20 miles per hour this afternoon and evening. Now, tomorrow morning, you can see they're kind of dying down a little bit here, but still pretty strong even for Thursday afternoon. In fact, based on this particular forecast model, stronger winds tomorrow. No wind advisory as of yet, but maybe the Weather Service may update that. We'll see. But as we go into Friday, a little breezy in the morning and even in the afternoon, so still just a tad breezy here and there. Not good, especially if you suffer from pollens. Temperatures yesterday, we did touch 80 degrees in Oroville. Otherwise, in the upper 70s for most of us in the valley. Looks like we saw temperatures in the 40s and 50s for places like Susanville and Alturas. But Bernie, 70, 59 degrees from Mount Shasta City, mid to upper 50s out along the coast. Taking a look at today, of course, the breezy, borderline windy conditions for the valley. Temperatures low 70s in Trinity County, low 60s for Siskiyou and the eastern mountains. But for the coast and the Modoc County area in the upper 50s. Looking at future casts for today, Yeah, you may see some clouds come in here later on today for the North Coast, but otherwise you are looking at sunny skies for most of Northern California. So here's kind of a quick glance at all of Northern California, just a few select cities in the area. There you can see 77 degrees for Redding, 78 for Chico. Basically upper 70s for most of us in the valley today. For the mountains, northern and eastern mountains. So Siskiyou, Modoc, eastern mountains, looks like upper 50s, low 60s on average. Some of the cooler spots will be in the mid 50s. For Trinity County, around 70, as well as the inland areas, and upper 50s to around 60 for the coast. All right, here's a quick glance at your 7-day outlook for all of the 6 different neighborhoods. We're starting off with the valley. Breezy today and tomorrow. Temperatures increasing up to the low 80s by Friday, but a 20-degree drop from Friday to Saturday. Yeah, you're looking at that right, folks. That's not a typo. We're down to 61 degrees on Saturday, and it's going to be raining all day Saturday. You got wet weather. And then Sunday, I think will dry out in the valley and warm back up going into next week. Here's your 7-day outlook for the North Coast. That's a neighborhood. And the other neighborhood is Trinity County. So there you can see we are looking at those temperatures also increasing a bit, chance for showers. Now, you'll notice on Sunday and even Monday a chance. There still may be just enough instability behind that storm system on Sunday, Monday that the mountains and even the coast may see a stray shower. Check this out. Talking snow levels on Saturday and Sunday. Now, notice on Sunday I've got 3,500 feet. Now, I don't want you to think that and go, oh my gosh, Mount Shasta is going to see snow and it's going to be accumulating, it's going to be a big deal. No, that's not going to happen. But I do think Saturday night into Sunday morning, we could see a brief period of snow levels down to as low as 3,500 feet, but mostly on average between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. But to talk about snow levels even that low this time of the year, definitely a bit on the unusual side. Let's take a look at some of those cameras out there this morning. You can see it looking out at Main Street, Chico, Highway 99. I don't see any cars out there. What is everyone taking the day off of work? I don't know, maybe not everyone's out just yet getting ready, but there you can see Highway 99 at Neal Road. Some cars coming in. Not a ton of traffic this morning. There's Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Unfortunately, the camera isn't moving, but you can kind of get the general idea. The sun is coming out. Look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay, and the trees are blowing a little bit in the wind. You can also see the little ripples in the water, indicating a bit of a breeze over the lake as well. So yes, breezy conditions. Quick reminder, I do have 3 radio partners. Don and Heather in the mornings on 104.3 K Shasta. You can hear me on their show at 7:30 in the morning, approximately. 106X. We also do an update there. Sometimes my phone, though, has been kind of acting up. So some of these I don't get quite to get in there. Stephen Clark and on News Talk KQMS a little after 8:05 in the morning. All right, we're going to get to that here in a second here. But before we do, let's check in with everybody and have a little fun. If anybody wants to chat it up, ask a question, what you doing today, what you got going on tomorrow. Maybe we can spark up a little conversation with the calendar for today. Let's take a look at that. Here you can see, put a little music, add a little cheer to it. National Interpreter Day. That's an appreciation day. So if you know an interpreter, let them know that you appreciate them. All right, okay. National Skilled Trades Day, the first Wednesday in May. So yeah, that's today. Today is May 1st, but it's Wednesday. We've got May Day. Of course, as we all know, we love May Day. I think I remember as a child on May Day, of course, I grew up in Minnesota. And I think I remember my mom teaching me that we would take a basket of treats and flowers and just randomly put them on someone's doorstep, ring the doorbell and walk away and just do that. I don't know if that's a thing, but I do remember doing that. Maybe I'll do that this year. I don't know, maybe. I don't want to. Nowadays, that's, you don't want to do that. Who is this terrorist that left this basket? Is it poisoned? School Principals Day. All right, so maybe the principals across the area are going to be getting some special treats from the teachers and the students. Today is Law Day. Gotta love the law. Gotta break down on the law. Silver Star Service Banner Day. There you go, May 1st. Good morning to you, Shelley. Good morning, Nick Woods. Happy Wednesday from Bright Reading. Good morning, Mike, from 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Highest gust yesterday was about 13 miles per hour. Last night was calm. This morning, calm at 6 to 8 miles per hour. So yeah, the wind's not that strong out there this morning, but overall, not that bad. Where does the European forecast come from and who does it? Okay, so the European forecast model, it's not an actual European forecast, but the European forecast model comes out of Europe. So think of this. Several countries across the nation have a weather bureau of sorts. Ours is the National Weather Service, right? But there are other organizations in other countries that have organizations that operate and are a public service to their citizens, a forecast. So typically these areas are also going to have their own particular forecast models. Think of forecast models as a big, complicated math equation, calculus, physics, the works, right? It's all in there. And they're very complicated mathematical equations. Some are better than others. Some can handle some of these situations better than others. And, the thing is, these forecast models, they're always being adjusted. They're always being tweaked. They're always being improved upon. Sometimes improvements take and they do well. Other times, okay, maybe not so great. Someone was asking me the other day, which one do I prefer? I do prefer the European forecast model. In my experience, 25 years of experience plus, I've just noticed that the European forecast model is one of the most accurate. That being said, the American forecast model, which wasn't always called GFS, it was at one point in time called the aviation or something like that, AVN. And then, of course, it got back to or up to, and now it's called the GFS. And it's improved. Now, I'll say this, and this is, in fact, the last few storms that have come through, I'd say that the track record of the American forecast model is actually better. All right, has been better than the European forecast model. So European, not always the safest bet, right? Sometimes the American forecast model just knocks it out of the park. It did that with this last storm, and it's actually, what's happening is I'm noticing that the European forecast model keeps coming more and more in line with the American forecast model. So kind of interesting. We'll see who hits it out of the park here for Saturday. But since Monday, the GFS has been indicating rain. Monday, the European, no rain at all. But now the European forecast model over the last 2 days has actually been indicating it. Thank goodness we have you to decipher it all. Yes, that's what I try to do. Good morning, Mike. Good morning to you. Good morning. Just tuned in. What's the weather going to be like in Red Bluff on Saturday? Want to till my garden. Thank you. Wet. That's all I got to say. In fact, stick around here for the main forecast because we're going to be doing that here. Let's go ahead and do it right now, as a matter of fact. Let me make sure I turned that music off. I think I did. But before we get to the main forecast, got to mention our sponsor. It's Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. I want to thank, oops, there goes my putting on my coat. I've got a small studio here, folks. My studio, by the way, just, to kind of put things in perspective, I'm going to give you an idea of how small. I'm going to try to give you an idea. So I'm going to put my arms out as far as I can here. I'm going to keep walking, and I am now officially touching the wall. I'm going to go over here. I am now officially touching the wall. I don't have a lot of space. My studio is 10 by 10. So I was in there trying to put on my coat. If I stand about here, now I'm barely standing. I'm kind of standing in front of my desk where I'm sitting. I don't know, it's an idea. It's fun. So here are your temperatures out there right now. Winds are blowing in the valley. That's why our temperatures are in the low to mid 50s right now. Winds not as strong to the south, hence cooler temperatures. And the wind's not as strong for most of us in the mountains. That's why we're in the 20s and 30s. Bernie, a chilly start to your day at 24, 25 for Alturas. How about Weaverville at 30? 33 out in Hayfork, that is, 39 degrees. That's where we have the frost advisory this morning until 8 o'clock, so about 45 more minutes. Temperatures will start to increase, so of course you can see that frost advisory for Trinity and the inland areas of Del Norte and Humboldt County. So wind advisory in the valley, a warming trend the rest of the week. Showers return this weekend with mountain snow. Yes, mountain snow, and I've got it possibly in some areas as low at one small period of time, Saturday night, as low as possibly 3,500 feet. Big temperature drop Friday into Saturday. We're talking a 20-degree drop at least in the valley. So there's that wind advisory for the valley and, of course, some of the surrounding foothills. I've got the gust between 25 and 40 miles per hour. I think 40 miles per hour might be pushing it. We'll see. I'm not expecting this to be a big wind event. This is not going to be widespread power outages. I think it's going to be more kind of blowing loose objects around, maybe a couple of broken dead tree branches. But power outages, if one of those broken tree branches falls on top of a power line, okay, sure. All right, but overall, I don't expect it to be that big of a deal. So let's take a look at the forecast wind gusts. Here you take it through the afternoon. I mean, it's not even exceeding 30 miles per hour in most cases here. It's the west side of the valley that I think the winds will be strongest. They're subsiding tonight, this afternoon and tonight. But look at Thursday, especially going to the afternoon. The winds actually look a little bit stronger tomorrow. So I've still got breezy, borderline windy conditions here for your Thursday. But even Friday, the winds are just kind of lingering, hovering around. Now, it's not going to be as strong on Friday, but still a bit on the breezy side. You'll notice that. Here's the storm track up to our north. Think of the storm track as a river. You know, when you take like a little small stick, throw it in a stream, it follows the flow of that stream, right? Same situation here with the jet stream. These storms typically follow that storm track. And it's been mainly to our north, and that's why we've been dry. But these storm systems, as they clip to our north, they've been giving us those kind of breezy conditions at times. So looking at the temperature outlook, now we're getting beyond that main storm system this weekend, right? So now we're seeing near normal temperatures and cooler air off to our east. Same situation with the precipitation. Near normal rainfall, and really, quite honestly, just not much rain in the forecast after this weekend with wetter conditions off to our east as well. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. Today, it's dry across the board. We may see some clouds come into the north later on this afternoon for the north coast. But look at tomorrow morning. Yeah, we're seeing a weak disturbance clip Northern California. So it's moving closer. That storm track is just moving, pushing a little bit more to the south. And that's why we are seeing showers for Del Norte, Humboldt County, Siskiyou, even parts of Modoc County as well. That's tomorrow morning. Still dry for the valley, still dry for the eastern mountains at this point, right? Then we go into about noon, and well, it's got to kind of taper off for the coast, but still maybe a stray shower. Still maybe a stray shower for Siskiyou, but now it's pushing southward into parts of the eastern mountains, and maybe even getting close to Bernie as well. Then we go into Thursday afternoon, and most of it's gone. We still may see a few stray showers kind of kicking in along parts of the coast, but fairly dry. And then, of course, dry for your Friday for the most part. Here's Friday morning, all right? Here's Friday morning at 8 a.m. See the clouds coming in. See the rain off to our north and west. Now that Saturday system is moving in closer. There may be some prefrontal showers developing Friday afternoon for parts of the mountains, and it's even showing a pop-up here in the valley. We'll see. For now, I'm going to keep it dry Friday afternoon in these locations. But by Friday evening, Friday night, that's when the cold front will start to push through. It's going to bring us the rain, and not to mention, of course, the snow behind it as we see that colder air move in. All right, so here's the overall setup. There are the winds here for today. You've got these systems that are, remember I was talking about these systems that are kind of passing to our north, and they're what are helping to kind of generate those winds. So even tomorrow, even into Wednesday, as that low pressure system moves down to the south, it kind of fizzles out, but then we're watching this storm system. Now again, we were talking about the European and the GFS forecast model, right? The American forecast model. What we're looking at is the American forecast model. And on Monday of this week, it was showing that this storm system was going to be more down here. But on Monday, the European forecast model had it way up here, and it didn't bring us any rainfall. Then on Tuesday, so what I've been noticing here is that now you can see on Saturday it's just off to our north and west. The European forecast model is still a bit more to the north, but you see the forecast models are becoming more and more in line. So what we're starting to see here is that we're getting more confidence in that rain over the weekend. So it's really Saturday. Saturday is the main event. And it's the colder air too. You see the snow in the mountains here? So I do expect snow levels to drop through the day on Saturday from about 6,000 feet to maybe as low as 4,000 feet by Saturday evening. Saturday night, Sunday morning, maybe as low as 3,500 feet for a brief period of time. But through the day on Sunday, those snow levels start to climb again. But notice on Sunday too, we're just not seeing much activity. That storm system's off to our east and we're fairly dry. All right, then kind of interesting, as we go into Monday, Tuesday, yeah, a couple of weak disturbances passing to our north, so still keeping that chance for showers here and there for some of the northern mountains and along parts of the coast as well, but overall dry for next week. But we could be looking at another weak wind event coming in for Monday, Tuesday of next week as those those isobars, these lines of equal pressure, are pretty tightly packed. Then high pressure does start to kind of try to build in here towards the middle of next week. So how much rain can we expect? Well, it's still too early to give us exact amounts, but you can see in the valley, as you go to the north end of the valley, more rainfall, heading southward a little less. We tend to see a little bit of that shadowing as a result, but I'd say a quarter to a half an inch. There are some places at the north end of the valley that could be approaching an inch of rainfall. And I think more along the coast, you can see upwards of 1 to 2 inches of rain there. This right here is in that 2-inch range as well, and maybe a little bit more than that. But of course, now you have to go above 7,000 feet really before you start seeing any significant snow. But yeah, I mean, some decent precipitation, let's put it that way, for out towards Modoc County, indicating about an inch. Quite honestly, that might be overdoing it, but, it's a decent rain. This is not going to be just a tiny little bit of rainfall in most cases. We're going to see at least a quarter to a half an inch in the valley and maybe more in some cases here. Your wave heights are expected to drop over the next few days, but with that said, there still is a small crash advisory through the afternoon today with those north winds at 10 to 20 knots and your waves from the north at 9 feet at about 7 seconds. So here's what it looks like today. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, your detailed, you're not going to get a more detailed neighborhood forecast than right here on Coffee with Krueger. I do a detailed forecast for the neighborhoods on the regular updates, but I really hone in and include more cities and more communities in this forecast. So be sure to tell your friends and family that even if you missed the live broadcast of this that you're watching right now, I do have a link on weathernorcal.com for Coffee with Krueger, and then you can watch the earlier broadcasts from the morning if you want to get that more detailed forecast. 63 degrees out in Honeydew, 68 for Garberville. Now, you'll notice on Thursday, I have included a slight chance for showers for the north coast. Trinity County, no, I think you're going to be dry through at least Friday, and then by Saturday that rain. So there you can see, of course, there's that slight chance on Thursday, better chances coming in on Saturday, and then just kind of lingering Sunday and maybe a weak system on Monday as well. 64 degrees for Smith River, 60 for Gas Key, and looks like Klamath about 60 degrees. How about your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast? Yeah, maybe a stray shower on Thursday, especially for the first half of the day, but the second half of the day on Thursday should be dry. But today it's dry for everyone with temperatures in the low 60s, maybe some lingering showers on Sunday, but for the most part, the main event will be on Saturday. That's also the case for central and eastern Siskiyou County. Temperature about 60 for Weed, 66 degrees in Dunsmuir. Here's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Newell about 57, as well as Alturas and California Pines. And there's Fort Bidwell with about 56. There, of course, you can see those showers on Thursday, dry for Friday, and then the main event Saturday, maybe lingering on Sunday as well. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. What I've got here is that potential for Thursday afternoon, but dry for the first half of the day, dry on Friday, and then more of that rain. Look at the snow levels. For the Sierra, maybe a bit higher than places like, say, for example, the Cascades, like Mount Shasta, down to about 3,500 feet Saturday night, okay? Just for a brief period. I don't anticipate there to be a big snow event in Mount Shasta City, but, would not be surprised if you at least saw a mix in Mount Shasta City. I know it's crazy, right, in May? All right, so here you can see Manzanita Lake, 55 degrees. There's Chester. There's a look at Lassen Park. Those temperatures are dropping. There's your Eastern Mountains forecast to the south, Paradise. You've got breezy conditions today, dry through Friday. There's that rain coming in Saturday, but dry on Sunday. Dry into early next week as well. All right, let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. We got those temperatures in the upper 70s. You know, we're not going to see much change from yesterday temperature-wise. It's going to be about the same. You won't notice much of a change in those temperatures. You will notice a little bit stronger winds today than they were yesterday, but I'm just calling it breezy, borderline windy today as well as tomorrow. But the winds should, for the most part, begin to subside by the time you get into Friday. And look at that 7-day outlook. There is that 20-degree drop I was talking about from Friday to Saturday. You've got those showers, and it's going to be kind of a bit of that steady light rain. There could be brief periods of heavier rainfall throughout the day on Saturday, but it's going to be kind of a pretty much all-day event. So if you have something you need to do outside this weekend, yard work or anything like that, you may either want to try to do it Friday, but if you have to work, then Sunday would be the day to get out there and do some of that work. And temperatures won't be too bad either. Should be in the mid-60s by Sunday. And then we're in the low 70s here by Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that's a look at your forecast, folks. Let's see if there's anything that people have been mentioning here. Elaine telling me to enjoy my cup of coffee. Okay, I will. I'm going to enjoy it right now. I usually do non-dairy creamer, but I tried this new non-dairy creamer today. It was horrendous. Ugh, it was terrible. So I had to put a little creamer in my coffee this morning, breaking the rules a little bit. But I got to tell you, folks, you know, as we kind of talk about cholesterol and all that, you know, all that stuff, I'm beginning to learn a few things about cholesterol, LDL, you know, known as the bad fat, and then HDL and triglycerides and all that stuff. And when you get your blood work done, there's a lot more to those numbers than you think. And what we all know is the standard, kind of interesting. Look it up. Talk about, you know, people talking about how cholesterol is not as bad as we once thought it was. I don't know. I mean, I could go on and on about it, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to bore you to death. Ruth saying good morning. What do you say about our weather this year? To me and neighbors here, center of Reading, it seems to be such a dramatic change. When you say this year, so number one, what we're noticing, and I wanted to check and look at some temperature statistics because we have yet to see 90 degrees in the valley this year. Typically, we see our first day of 90-degree temperatures in June. But we had such a big spread in our temperatures. We saw temperatures mid to upper 80s, and they dropped down to the 60s, even 50s. I mean, major drops up and down. And the reason we're seeing these dramatic changes over the last month or so is because the storm system, typically high pressure starts to try to take control, but the high pressure has been weak. Storm systems have been fairly strong coming in from the north, and they're cold storm systems. So they've been giving us these spreads. High pressure tries to build in, and then, of course, that cold air begins to move in. Looking forward, we can look at a few things. And let me pull something up here, and let's see what the Climate Prediction Center has got going on with some of that. Because sometimes, you know, you can take a look at that. And I'm not a fan of these, by the way, when you start looking out over a month or two. But let's take a look at, for example, right here. This is looking at the Climate Prediction Centers. And what this is doing, and by the way, this is the Climate Prediction Center. They're you know, a government organization. They're here for our service. Here's the month. So from May, for the entire month of May, we're expecting equal chances of above and below normal temperatures. So when we look at the month of May, it doesn't look like we have any major heat waves heading our way. Could we hit 90 for the first time this year in May? Most likely, but near normal temperatures. So normal temperatures this time of the year is in the mid to upper 70s. We're starting to get in the 80s by the time we get into the mid to late May, but normal temperatures aren't even in 90s yet. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with our temperatures. Now, I'm going to take you back here and let's do the 3-month outlook with, oh, and by the way, let's take a look at precipitation. Not much precipitation in there, by the way. Equal chances of above and below normal. Okay, so let's take a look now at the 3-month outlook. Okay, as we go for May, June, and July. So now we include June and July in here. And you know what? There's see the light to mid areas. I'm gonna go up to the wall here. I'm gonna kind of help to explain to you what we're looking at here. So these don't necessarily mean, hey, oh my gosh, it's gonna be super hot out there. No, what these are saying is you take your seasonal temperature for this time of the year, right, for these times of the year, and what it's saying is these are chances we could see above normal temperatures. So when you see this right here, what that's saying is a 33 to 40% chance of seeing above normal temperatures. And then this right here, this brighter shade of orange, that's 40 to 50% chance. So this is leaning toward a better chance of seeing above normal temperatures, is what it looks like as we look out over the next 3 months. Am I a big fan of this? Am I a big fan of looking at this? Well, sure. I mean, it gives us a basic idea, but, you know, we're not out of the woods yet. Could it be a super hot summer? We'll see, right? But overall, as it stands right now, at least starting off in May, doesn't look all that bad. Let's take a look at the precipitation outlook. Of course, it's no big surprises here. Equal chances of above or below normal rainfall. So there's really no indication that we're going to see a lot of rain, no indications that we're not going to see a lot of rain. So that's kind of what it's looking like here for the next 3 months. So, but yeah, definitely an interesting observation. I think people are noticing what's going on here, and that is it's been unusually warm for many of us. We've seen an unusual temperature spread, unusually cool for this time of the year through the month of April. April was an unusual month. And we're starting off the month of May fairly unusual as well. So it's kind of interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what this all pans out to be like. But, you know, as it stands right now, I tell you what, we're going from 81 on Friday down to 61 on Saturday, and rain, and substantial rain at that. We probably will see above normal rainfall for that day. But above normal rainfall for this time of the year, it's not as impressive as it was, say, a few months ago. So there you have it. There you have it, folks. Unless there are any more questions, love the questions. I love it when you start to engage and see what's going on. What else? Does anybody have anything going on this weekend? What do you got going on? Anything exciting? You know, it might be impacted by the rain on Saturday, so maybe some people have some change of plans here. But overall, it looks like, yeah, if you have outdoor plans, it's definitely going to be impacted by that. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show, folks, and get you through some cameras we have out there. We're going to start off with Lake Oroville, North Forebay, looking at some of the winds that we're seeing in parts of the valley. You can see that ribbon flapping in the wind. So the winds have begun to pick up in some areas here and will continue to pick up here through the morning hours before they start to subside. So get ready. Lisa's saying her neighborhood garage sale canceled due to the rain on Saturday. Probably a good idea. Maybe push it till Sunday. I think Sunday should be okay, or just be on the cool side. But yeah, so winds, it's going to be a beautiful day out there today. So just be prepared for the gusty winds throughout the day today. And then, of course, still a bit on the breezy side for your Thursday and Friday. Have yourselves a great Wednesday, first day of May. It's May Day. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger starting at 7 a.m.